Hello! Today we'll learn how to design a basic process. Now, the process itself is one of the key elements of our system, so it is important to fully understand how it works and how to build one. Now, in NAVIGATOR365, we have decided to build the processes very easily, so we use BPMN. What is a BPMN? It's basically a business process model and notation, which is a kind of a graphical notation used for modeling business processes. Now, it also provides us a very intuitive way to visually represent a flow of the process and different activities and events. Now, this is how this simple a sample process looks like. Now, to fully understand how it works, it's probably best if we build one, and we will now build a simple process, a workflow for an incoming document. Now, there is also a difference between the process and a workflow. In NAVIGATOR365, you can design a very simple process made of one action, for example, and use it somewhere in a system. Or you can design a longer, more complex process, which would become a workflow for a specific document, a workflow, a path to follow inside of our organization. Now, the great example to show you is an office. An office is basically an application to handle an incoming and outgoing documents to the system. So each of them needs a workflow to follow through the organization. So how we will do it? It's very easy to actually build one process. Let's have a look. I go into back office, into processes, and I start a new process. What we need is a name. So I will call it an incoming process, and we need a data source for this process to be based on. So I want to base it on incoming letter 4. We have already designed a long time ago in one of our different tutorials. Now, we move to diagram, and this is the place where you design the process. Now, it's actually a very good idea to start with a start element. Now, how I did it, I clicked left click once and I moved the start in here. Now, there are also two ways of designing the process. One is automatic and the other one is by hand. So I show you the by hand one first. So I'll just take the gateway and I move it somewhere. And now from clicking this one, I can do the arrow in here. Right. Now, from this is the one way. The second way is I press this step and I decide what I want to have next. So if I press this another task, it automatically goes to another one. And when in Logic Gate I press another one, then it goes here as well. Now, from this one I want another one and I want an end. But from this step I just want an end. So I designed something very, very easy and quick, just to show you that it takes a couple of seconds to actually make a basic design. What we now want to do is we need to design each of the steps, what's going to happen, what's the names of the paths, and basically how this process will go on. Okay, let's now design each of these steps so you understand how it works. Now, firstly, I want to set a logic gate. What this does is checking the conditions of which path to follow. So let's name the path and let's name the other one, and we set the conditions in here. So the yes condition would be from the should be answered field in our form, should be valued as yes, and the other one should be answered equal no. So we set the conditions for the logic gate to be followed. Now we will go now to activity 2 when there is a no. So if there is a no, I did the double click in here. So we just want to have a letter delivery, and in here we want to call the path name mark as received. Now, why it is so important to have this path name done here, mark as received? I'll just quickly duplicate this and I'll show you on another document. So I leave back office and I go to the dashboard, and let's have a look, for example, on this this document of outgoing document. You see, this is the workflow, and on the workflow you can see the document is here and the path name is called register. Now, why it's important? Because this actually shows up in here on the process. So if we have the correct name of the step of the path to follow, then it will appear in here. Let's go back to create our process, and in here, in case we go to this step, we will see mark as received button to be pressed by the person. Now, as it is a user activity, we need to add an executor, an actor for this step, and this would be a process owner. Now let's do the other one. Activity 1 is happening when the answer is needed. Now we will here add an executor as well, and in here we will call it reading. We will call it prepare answer. Okay, and the executors is set, and one last thing to be done is activity 3, which is basically sending. Now this would be not sending yet, but preparing a letter, and the path name would be send. Right. Also we need an executor and save. Right. So this is something basic, very basic we have designed. Another thing you need to know when designing the process is the executors. Now, executor is an actor in the system, and we have a choice of either the process owner, which would be basically the person who started the process. It could be a specific user from our system, the users we have, or it could be each member of a specific group, for example, group of accounting department, and each member or any member, it's a difference. Each member would be everybody in the group, or any member would be the first person taking care of this document, is the actor of this process. And also we can use the same each or any user from a specific field in our document. Right. Okay, so we have the basic process designed, and now important is, I press save again. Now important is to have the system see this process and use it for the document of incoming documents. Now how we do it? We go into forms, into dashboard, and in the dashboard we have the buttons. In other tutorials we explain how to use the buttons. Now what I want to do, I want to set this button that it creates a document of incoming letter, and it uses the incoming process to automatically be run. So once I press save in here, we will have now this process added for the button and for the document. So I go back to the dashboard, I finish the editing, and now let's check how it works. So let's create a new one. I go new, in here will be fails offer, should be answered yes. What we need is a contractor, and we need a person it goes to. So controlling department, Zoe Roberts, and we now press save. Now, as you can see, we have now the button prepare answer, and we can see it in a workflow that in the diagram the system went through logic gate where it decided that it needs an answer, and it landed to this step for Zoe Roberts for reading, and when it's read, she presses preparing the answer button and goes to another step where she will be actually creating an answer. This is basic design of the process. In more tutorials to follow, you will see many different steps you can add and many different actions you can use inside of the processes. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and check out our tutorials. Thank you.